Well, I think we got our guest on the program, guys. And
that's great.
Hey, Seth, welcome to our program.
How you doing? Thanks for having me. I was going to make a joke that I crashed the servers with, there's so much excitement and buzz about this.
Hey, Seth, great to have you on, my friend. And let me introduce Seth. Seth Ravine is the Chief Revenue Officer for Acclaris that was recently acquired, by the Willis Towers Watson group. And great to have you on here, Seth, with us. And again, I do apologize, for the delay, but we're connected now. So give our audience a little background on Acclaris for those who may not know you guys.
Yeah, so Acclaris provides the software and services that supports all account-based health plans. So whether it's a FSA, an HSA, HRA, or even tuition and commuter, we can provide that to our partners in a white label approach. So they get to focus on building their brand, promoting their brand and experience, and leveraging their sales relationships, but still getting industry-leading solutions.
That's great. And you're part of the the Willis Towers Watson family now. Congratulations on that. You have a unique outlook on this year ahead. Kind of share that. What do you see for 2016? Share that with our audience, if you would, please.
Yeah, so I think the macro trends in healthcare are staying pretty consistent, right? We're talking about ACA and the Cadillac tax and what this does to the health plans, what it means to the providers and to the employers, really is culminating down at the individual level. So this notion of healthcare consumerism, we're entering, it can't be a buzzword anymore. We're actually in the phase where the industry has to start delivering on a true integrated experience. And what that means to me is, how do we help individuals navigate all facets of this? So are they selecting the right benefits? Are they maximizing those benefits? And then when they do go and utilize, are they making healthy life choices? And then when they do go utilize the healthcare system, are they doing it in a financially and resource responsible way?
There's a lot of talk about health literacy, which is pretty important. But I think there's an equal discussion about, and I think you're alluding to it, about what companies like yourself and others are doing around decision support, because how literate does a consumer really want to be versus tell me the 2 or 3 choices that I need to make based upon who I am and what my family is, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we look at it as the complexity of the healthcare environment, the benefits and the choices they make are outpacing the knowledge of an individual. And we have to quickly close that gap, or individuals are going to make wrong choices, be upset, and then go back and scream at their employers or at the the government, and that's not good for anybody.
What do you see in the marketplace around what you guys are doing in married with exchanges? Where do you see exchanges trending in 2016?
Yeah, so
you're a pretty important part of an exchange model too. So.
Yeah, we hope to be. I think some of the big trends, right, that we were talking about is, the accounts-based health plans continue to grow, and we're seeing it both in the HRAs and the HSAs, and giving this is taking hold. I think 82% of employers offers an account-based health plan in 2015, but we're not seeing everybody adopted. So let's say 15 to 17 million HSAs were opened in 2015. There were still something like 6 million others who had a chance to take advantage of this tool but didn't do it. And so when we look at how the exchanges can play into this is, again, are people having the right decisions? Are they going through and making the decisions that are going to help them maximize their dollars and benefits? Or are they just buying the lowest premium plan and then not taking advantage of the HSAs and the other tools that make that affordable?
No, I think that's actually well said. I talk to people a lot, meaning consumers, friends on the street, and they'll say, "Yeah, we have an HSA high deductible." I said, "You have your HSA card?" And they said, "No." How do I get that?
Right. Well, it's that education piece. I think employers are trying to do a decent job at enrollment, but how do we continue the education throughout the year, right? How do we give compassionate guidance? And it's going to be really different if you're a millennial and you've got a lot of time to invest, and typically you've got low costs around healthcare, that's one thing. If you're a baby boomer and you're close to retirement, what are you doing today to start taking advantage and preparing for your retirement healthcare costs, which right now individuals are woefully prepared for retirement, but even in that planning, something like 40% of individuals don't even consider their healthcare costs in retirement.
One of the things, and I respect your opinion on this too. One of the things, Seth, that I think bodes well for engagement and education is that where we are today with healthcare consumerism in really the majority adoption phase, and we got all the little pockets like you're talking about, but the commonality is that wellness used to have to stand on its own trying to get engagement. Your piece, account-based plans, used to have it stand on its own getting engagement. Voluntary benefits the same. If you look across the compendium, there's a commonality, with employers and their advisors and others saying, hey, engagement, education is across our compendium of our benefit and health offerings. And I think that bodes really well for account-based plans. It bodes really well for engagement, across that compendium. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And, my background, before I joined Acclaris, I was with a healthcare consumer company called Silverlink Communications. And, we would work with health plans and pharmacy benefit management companies and wellness companies on how to engage members and how to move the needle. How do we actually change their behavior? And over 1 billion touch points with healthcare consumers. And I'll tell you, it boils down to people will change behavior at a higher rate when either they had a new diagnosis or money is being spent. And so when I came to Acclaris and I look at the spending accounts and the savings accounts, this is incredible. We get up to, on average, 12. Every individual who has an HSA will touch their account 12 times a year on average, right? So we can pull people in. They're actually making some sort of transaction, and they came there because they had treatment. So this is a golden opportunity where someone is actually open to education, open to new ideas, whether taking advantage of transparency tools or treatment decision tools, or some of the benefits out there that actually go out and will negotiate on behalf of the consumer on EOBs and services. How do we actually help them make intelligent, informed decisions about what they're going to spend and what's the best way to finance it?
Seth, let's shift gears just a little bit. Earlier in our show, we were talking about legislation, and I wonder if you can share your thoughts on ways employers can ensure that any legislation that's coming down the line this year doesn't cause any unneeded stress. So employer health and well-being, based on regulatory stress.
Yeah, I have a big grin on my face right now because I'm not a legislation expert, and there are we support ECFC and other organizations that help us navigate this. But what I do know is that this is a fluid market, right, and that the environment isn't settled. And so what we with Willis Towers Watson as our parent company now, and what we have through our existing partners, is we're continuing to see that employers are taking actions into their own hands. And what I mean by that is that the employers who can really empower their employees and to understand what the dynamics are in the marketplace, why all these changes are coming, and that one individual is different. Everyone's a different, unique individual, and that has different needs. If we can educate them on how to spend their benefit dollars wisely and then maximize that, whatever happens in legislation, they'll be prepared for.
Yeah, that's pretty well said. I think we all know the concerns with the legislation, and hopefully the heavy lifting from ECFC and your old friend who's now heading up ECFC, former Acclaris teammate. Hopefully they'll get some of the good work done that will help us all in the end and help primarily the consumers that are going to be hurt if we don't get some things changed through the Cadillac tax. How can plans and benefit professionals, help consumers know when and how to use money from different types of spending accounts? What can be done to help better educate them or to help them?
Yeah, there's a couple different. When I think of this problem, there's a couple key pieces. One is that an HSA is a health savings account, and there's still an overwhelming use of the health savings account to be a spending account, and it serves that purpose. So that's not a wrong way to utilize it, and everyone's situation is different. But we're starting to see some stats, and we're going to be doing a webinar series on these throughout 2016 of how does a millennial approach healthcare benefits, and specific to the spending accounts, how does a baby boomer look at this, et cetera. And every other consumer market understands that people are different. Lifestyles, what their knowledge is today, et cetera. And within healthcare, we have a very complex system. And if I'm new to healthcare benefits, or I have a life-changing event, whether it's a newborn or some new diagnosis, right? How I utilize that's different. And so the individuals still overwhelmingly look to the employer for guidance, and the employers need to really embrace that. So again, help people at that point where they're going to their spending accounts and savings accounts. Why are they going there? What other guidance and tools can I give them? And then the one-size-fits-all is not going to work. You can't just blast out information. It's got to be pertinent, real-time, and compassionate, guidance at that point.
Yeah, it's really the heart of a true healthcare consumerism program too, and why they're emerging, developing plans of choice, because every family, every individual is different.
Yeah. And that's the exciting opportunity that we have as an industry, right? I mean, we are finally putting real options out there. We're putting real dollars into the hands of the individuals to make these decisions. Let's not screw it up, right? Let's make sure they're doing it the right way.
That's exactly right. Seth, we got about a minute and a half to go here on the program, and it's been great having you on here. I'd like to allow you to kind of package, some of your thoughts and leave our audience with some takeaways.
Yeah, so my background and what we're doing within Willis Towers Watson is really trying to get to the heart of consumerism and health. And we don't want to be just an administrator of an account. We want to really figure out how we can partner with these employers and the employees and individuals to make to really pull that integrated service. But we aren't going to do it alone. And so as an industry, the challenge that we have in front of us is how do we create that integrated experience. And then the second part, and we didn't touch on it, but it's something I'm really excited about, is the whole notion of health and wealth. And we're really starting to see people dig in deep on this, and what are people doing today for retirement? Because the reality is an individual can't rely on employer-sponsored health plans. Probably, as a millennial, that's not an option that baby boomers might have had. And Social Security, we're not quite sure, that what you do as a millennial to prepare for that isn't. So, how does an individual today start accounting for retirement planning the right way? What tools do they have in front of them? So, your 401k, IRAs, and then obviously HSAs. Because the studies we see are HSAs can help prevent up to 25% of costs in late stage retirement, and that's what we really want to get people focused on and working towards.
That's a good message, Seth. Let our audience know how they can get in touch with you.
They can email me at Seth Seth.Ravine RAVINE at Acclaris, and that's ACCLARIS.com.
Hey, Seth, thank you so much. Have a great weekend up there. And are you in Tampa or Minnesota today?
Unfortunately, I'm in Minnesota today, but we'll brave the cold this week, and hopefully I can get to Tampa soon.
All right. Take care, and I hope to see you real soon. Take care.
All right. Take care.